No. No, I'm trying to film. Go lay down. Is that so? No, I'm busy. I'm busy. Please go lay down. No. Hey book lovers, I'm Elise, and today I would like to introduce a new series on my channel. Being as I am the sci-fi queen. Wait, no, I don't. That's not what I call myself. Since I am the host of Libernauts Book Club, which is a science fiction book club, I thought that it could be fun the first of the month, every month, if I started announcing some upcoming science fiction books for you to keep on your radar. What I'd like to do is have a handful of sci-fi books that I think sound good, that might be good to recommend to people who already love sci-fi or who are maybe struggling to find the right sci-fi to start with if they're trying to dip their toes into the genre. Hopefully each month is going to have a fair share of books that we can talk about. The first book I want to talk about comes out on March 4th. It is a dystopian horror by the same author as Tender is the Flesh, and that is The Unworthy by Agustina Bastarrica, a thrilling work of literary horror about a woman cloistered in a secretive, violent religious order while outside the world has fallen into chaos. From her cell in a mysterious convent, a woman writes the story of her life in whatever she can find: discarded ink, dirt, and even her own blood. Outside, the world is plagued by catastrophe. Cities are submerged underwater, electricity and the internet are non-existent, and bands of survivors fight and forage in a cruel, barren landscape. It's a searing dystopian tale about climate crisis, ideological extremism, and the tidal pull of our most violent, exploitative instincts from a master of feminist horror. So this would be a good one for people who like feminist literature and horror. The next one I've talked about numerous times on my channel, and that is The Dream Hotel by Leila Lalami. This one is also a bit of a dystopian, and it's set in a world where the government can put surveillance on your dreams. Our main character, she's captured based on the data that this algorithm found in her dreams. It's forecasting that she's going to be committing a crime. So prior to that even happening, she's being captured to prevent the crime from happening at all. The Dream Hotel artfully explores the seductive nature of technology, which puts us in shackles even as it makes our lives easier. The author asks how much of our lives must remain private if we are to remain free, and whether even the most invasive forms of surveillance can ever capture who we really are. This one I think would be really good for people who are into books with a lot of social commentary and who may be really interested in future tech, what it could do for us, and how it could also make our lives worse. Next up is one that YA fantasy lovers might be interested in, and that is Fable for the End of the World by Ada Reed. This one is a YA sapphic dystopian romantasy. It's got a lot going on, but it's said to be The Last of Us meets the Ballads of Songbirds and Snakes. And it's a story about survival, sacrifice, and love that risks everything. By encouraging massive accumulations of debt from its underclass, a single corporation, Ceres, controls all aspects of society. Inessa lives with her brother in a half-sunken town where they scrape by running a taxidermy shop. Unbeknownst to Inessa, their cruel and indolent mother has accrued an enormous debt, enough to qualify one of her children for Ceres' livestream assassination spectacles, The Lamb's Gauntlet. So yes, if you are into YA fantasy, this could be a good one for you. Now we're up to books coming out March 11th, the first of which is Luminous by Sylvia Park. This one is actually a literary sci-fi mystery, and it is a debut novel for the author, set in a unified Korea that tells the story of three estranged siblings, 2 human and 1 robot, as they collide against the backdrop of a murder investigation to settle old scores and make sense of their shattered childhood. Perfect for fans of Clara and the Sun, and we are all completely beside ourselves. I've not heard of that second one, but Clara and the Sun I have read. Next, coming out on March 18th, we have The Third Rule of Time Travel by Philip Fracassi. This one obviously involves time travel, and it is a sci-fi horror. I think a lot of the other books that this author has written are very much horror. Rule 1, travel can only occur to a point within your lifetime. Rule 2, you can only travel for 90 seconds. Oh, that's not much time at all. Rule 3, you can only observe. The rules cannot be broken. In this riveting science fiction novel from acclaimed author Philip Fracassi, a scientist has unlocked the mysteries of time travel. Scientist Beth Darlow has discovered the unimaginable. She's built a time machine that allows human consciousness to travel through time to any point in the traveler's lifetime and relive moments of their life. The traveler has no way to interact with the past, they can only observe. After Beth's husband Coulson dies in a tragic car accident, Beth is left to raise Isabella, their only daughter, and continue the work they started. Then the impossible happens. Simply viewing personal history should not alter the present, but with each new observation she makes, her own timeline begins to warp. That one sounds really trippy. The whole concept of time travel is just super intriguing to me. So if that's something that you're interested in trying, this could be a good pick for you. Next is one that you've probably already heard of, but also coming out March 18th is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is of course part of the Hunger Games series, and it is a prequel. This one focuses on Haymitch and his time during the Hunger Games. So I won't go into much more detail than that, but it is of course a YA dystopian. This next one is for my cozy mystery lovers, and that is Murder by Memory by Olivia Waite. This is book number 1 in the Dorothy Gentleman series. A Memory Called Empire meets Miss Marple. It's a cozy spaceborne mystery helmed by a no-nonsense formidable auntie of a detective. Welcome to the HMS Fairweather, Her Majesty's most luxurious interstellar passenger liner. Room and board are included, new bodies are graciously provided upon request, and should you desire a rest between lifetimes, your mind shall be most carefully preserved in glass in the library, shielded from every danger. Near the topmost deck of the interstellar generation ship, Dorothy Gentleman wakes up in a body that isn't hers, just as someone else is found murdered. As one of the ship's detectives, Dorothy usually delights in unraveling the schemes on board the Fairweather, but when she finds that someone is not only killing bodies but purposefully deleting minds from the library, she realizes something even more sinister is afoot. Next up, coming out on March 25th, is When the Moon Hits Your Eye by John Scalzi. This one I keep meaning to read, and I'm pretty sure I am reading it in March. It's been on my TBR for a couple months. I have an arc of it, so I want to make sure it's read before its publication date. I won't go into too much detail on this one, but John Scalzi, his sci-fi is typically pretty humorous, and the whole concept behind this one is that the moon is replaced with a wheel of cheese. So it's an entirely serious take on a distinctly unserious subject. Next up, we have Disillusion by Nicholas Binge. This is the same author as Ascension. A woman dives into her husband's memories to uncover a decades-old feud threatening reality itself in this staggering techno-thriller from the best-selling author of Ascension. Maggie Webb has lived the last decade caring for elderly husband Stanley as memory loss gradually erases all the beautiful moments they created together. And then a mysterious stranger reveals a shocking truth. Stanley isn't losing his memories. Someone is actively removing them to hide a long-buried secret from coming to light. Next up, also on March 25th, this is going to be another good one for people who like their books to have a lot of humor in them, and that is Space Brooms by A.G. Rodriguez. This one honestly sounds like a hoot. A fun sci-fi romp where custodian or space broom Johnny Gomez teams up with smugglers and is thrust into an unforgettable adventure. Being a custodian is not really the life he had planned out for himself, yet his meaningless, uneventful existence is immediately turned upside down when he happens upon a tiny glass data chit hidden amongst the alien poop he must clean up. Unbeknownst to him, every nefarious creature in the solar system will soon be after him to claim it for their own. With the help of his augmented roommate, a pair of smugglers, and a mysterious and beautiful stranger, Johnny fights off thugs and sails as fast as possible to Earth's moon in an effort to sell the chit to a crime syndicate. This one sounds like it would be a fun adventure. And the last book I want to talk about, also coming out March 25th, is Psychopomp by Maria Dong. Now heads up, this one does have a trigger warning for mental illness and a variety of symptoms that go along with that. This one is another spacey horror sci-fi. On the penal colony of Hibiscus Station, there's no personnel more vital than the Pomps, who direct the excavation of highly volatile crystal. Young was in training to be a Pomp until a mental breakdown derailed her, and now she's unraveling again. But when her secret hallucinations predict a tunnel explosion that kills her entire crew, she is offered a surprise second chance to complete her Pomp training, which she accepts in hopes of paying off the penal debt that is keeping her from going home. But the more she trains, the more her paranoia takes hold. What if the tunnel collapse wasn't an accident? And what if everyone, her new crew, the station staff, even her lover, are all part of the deadly conspiracy? All right, there you have it. Those are obviously not all of the sci-fi coming out this month, but just a nice variety of ones that I personally thought sounded interesting that I think might be good recommendations. So let me know in the comments if I've convinced you to pick any of these up, and if you do end up reading them, let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Please do remember to like and subscribe, and until next time, bye.